So guess what? Something's happening in the sky. It's happening around the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th of September. And it's going to impact how things unfold in your life around the 19th of September. And more importantly, it's going to outpicture as a kind of final ta-da act of the story around May the 8th next year in 2023. And this story that I'm about to tell you about your big exhilarating change, sudden opportunity, giant pivot of direction is connected to events that happen in the very last week of July and the very first week of August, when we had a 23-year rare sky event where the North Node and Uranus collided together. That happens every 15 years, but was joined by Mars, and that happened last 2,300 years ago. That kind of is like a pivot on steroids. And that webinar is called the Big Boom webinar, or sorry, the Big Boom video. I did a webinar too, and I will pin that to my comments so you can go back and look at your rising sign, most importantly and accurately, but sun and moon secondarily, to see how that is pivoting for you. But this sky that we're having now in September, okay, on the 11th and 12th, coming up, 13th, 14th, 15th, this vibe around this time is strongly connected to the Pisces full moon that just occurred on the 10th of September. Check my video out for that. And it's definitely connected to the end of July, early August events. So we're going to talk about your sky, your rising sign, and how this plays out. No mundane stuff, no general astrology today. We're going straight to the signs. I'm just doing this a quickie video for you guys because, you know, I covered this a little bit in my monthly horoscopes for all signs, but I always wanted to dive into it a lot better. I want to go into it much deeper, which we're going to do today. And the other thing I want to say is this, you know, my style of astrology is predictive. It's Hellenistic. It's whole sign. My name is Lori Lothian, Lunatic Astrology. And I also am very much involved in the idea of how our personal lifescape interacts with the great collective scape of everybody, of the world and world events. So you will see a lot of the first parts of my video talking about the world, the mundane astrology, what's happening. If you go back to my Venus and Virgo video, I talked about a bit about Queen Elizabeth. Yes, that was recorded before she passed away. I could see something in the sky for her chart relative to the sky in our own sky, Venus and Virgo, that suggested big news stories breaking with the Queen. And yes, she passed away. And so, you know, and other times I've talked about her this year as probably having some death experiences, if not metaphorical, for real. So astrology can be highly predictive, and it's not just all about our emotions. It's not all about our feelings. It's not about just our general archetypes. It can be actually very accurate. So I want to point that out. And number two, if you don't like what I'm doing, just don't watch my channel. I mean, it's so simple, like go away, you know. I've had a couple trolls hit me hard in the last week. That was the Jupiter Mercury opposition. One guy keeps coming back again and again with a command and demand in a demeaning, misogynistic way. So whatever, then I organize myself. And I told him, he does it one more time and do my research and be prepared. I research every video. I am prepared. Okay. Other people think I talk too quickly. I do talk quickly. I have 4 planets in Aries. If you don't like the way I communicate, 4 planets in my 3rd house of communication, then go to another channel or slow the speed down. I cannot pretend to be who I am not on my own channel. Okay, so there's that little lecture. How to get that off my Aries chest, because we don't take criticism well, but I love constructive criticism, but just telling me I don't prepare or I talk too fast. Well, I'm not about to try to slow it down. My speed of my talk is my speed of my talk. You go to check out Maren Altman, my colleague. You think I talk fast? She's an auctioneer, and I love her. And if your mind can't keep up with my speed, you can slow down your video playback speed on YouTube. Okay, I said that was good to get off my chest. All right, let's get going. I want to show you the sky because a lot of you are geeks in astrology, and I love that about you. Can you see what I'm showing you here? Aha, September the 8th, 2022. This is our now sky, right? And what I would say is you can see that the sun is approaching the 18th degree, where it will end up in a trine, a flow, a love up, a kind of like a groovy moment of appreciation to Uranus and with Uranus. So trines are the nature in the ancient Hellenistic astrology tradition of Jupiter. Every aspect, sextile, opposition, trine, conjunction, they all have the nature of. An opposition is the nature of Saturn. restriction, constriction, rules, obligation, polarity, divisions between what's real and what isn't. But yeah, Jupiter is the nature of a trine. So what is Jupiter about? This is a time in the sky, guys, on the 12th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th of September, as this becomes more powerful, of opportunity, of luck. Right now, this is not an unusual event. The sun will come into that relationship. Sorry, I didn't mean to go ahead by months, but days. The sun will come into that relationship with Uranus every year. And it has been coming into a relationship with Uranus, whatever you want, Uranus, in Taurus since 2018. And it will finish that kind of story by 2026, because Uranus is traveling through Taurus for that long. He takes on average 7 to 8 years to go through one sign. And because this is a repeating event, it's not a big deal, really, except this one is. Except this one is extremely important. Why? It's extremely important because the 18th degree has been highly activated by the Mars-Uranus North Node triple conjunction, perfecting around July 30th, 31st, I can't remember my days are on July, the last day of July, and August 1st and 2nd, okay? And that epicenter of potency kind of rippled out about 7 days on either side. And we all may go back to that time in our life and go, maybe July 20th to August 6th, what big changes were emerging in our Taurus house? In whole sign house astrology, not Placidus, not Coker Campanus, one sign is one house. So there's one house of your 12 pieces of natal real estate that is the Taurus zone. Go back and watch my big boom webinar, because then you can actually look at how that might have been playing out in your natal sky and what this big boom shift of pivot of direction is about for you over the next 15 years. Yeah, like the analogy of a ship on the ocean liner, making a degree or two change and ending up, 15 years later on a very different shore. Okay, so that said, I'm trying to be very educational today. This big boom of the sun coming off of a full moon in Pisces. Yes, the moon was opposite that sun, right? The sun is up here. The moon was right opposite on the 10th. This is an important detail because it means that this full moon that happened on the 10th, which plays out for 2 weeks, which was seeded in March of 2022, is inherently and playfully corresponding to this big shift of sudden opportunity, exhilarating change, great ahas and ideas that can come to you. Something good is trying to happen. Something very good is trying to happen for your sky. Yes, September 11th, 12th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, okay? I put the moon in for you so you can see that moon, sun opposition. Now, this thing will reoccur around September 19th. September 19th, because that's when Venus, who's catching up to the sun, will pick up the slack, okay? And she will say, I'm going to now follow through on what the sun has started. Technically, Venus following through on what the sun has started is an interesting narrative, because the sun is fine being in Virgo, but Venus is a little challenged there. There she goes on September 19th, the day, by the way, of Queen Elizabeth's upcoming funeral. If I remember the information from the news story correctly, this Venus, right, a woman, by the way, Uranus, something sudden and unexpected, she passed away, but we won't do that. That's another sky story. But Venus on the 19th will actually follow through on what the sun starts on the 11th, 12th, or 13th, or 14th of September. See that? Boom. So I want you to think about events technically between, let's say, September 9th and the 13th that will replay on around the 19th of September about money and love, sudden surprises, positive. Oh my God, North Node, Uranus, and Taurus. Taurus is Venus's house. They're house guests in her house. Believe me, when someone's a house guest in your house, you make sure they do good things. They water your plants, they walk your dog, they take out your trash. So she's like supervising Uranus and going, take out the trash, water the dogs, bring me something good, bring me the money, bring me the love, bring me the reputation, bring me the fame, bring me the celebrity. These are Venus things. Bring me the artistic, creative up levels, especially in Virgo, artisan, particularly detailed oriented, or love that is practical and sober and realistic. Now, also, you can see later on, I'm going to do a separate video, the moon will get involved as well at 19 degrees, and this creates a mini grand trine. There's something very auspicious in the sky. Then I'm not going to do that as a separate video, but just know how lovely September 19th is in terms of the Venus story. Now, Mercury is over here in Libra, and you can see he's in the sign that belongs to Venus. Venus is in the sign Virgo that belongs to Mercury. They're in each other's houses. You know, if I'm in your house and you're in my house, what do we have? A mutual detente. You're not going to bash my walls, party away, and make my neighbors pissed off because I'm in your house. So that's what's going on. These two are having to work it out, called mutual reception. Otherwise, it would be an aversion. He's working, Mercury, to be good and kind to Venus, and she's trying to be kind to him in his house. So there's something very like cosmically OMG good going on in the sky around the 19th for each of us. It came off of that September 11th, 12th, okay, Sun trine Uranus. And last but not least, if you want to bear with me, because I'm going to go very quickly through all signs, just watch what happens when we jump ahead to May 8th. And I'll just take us through as best I can by jumping forward to the end of this narrative, and you get a vibe on here about what I'm talking about. We'll go back and look at that real-time clock, as my mentor Achuta Baba always says, and say, okay, look at this sky on May the 8th. There we have that Sun conjunct Uranus. Don't forget who started the story. Who was the initiator of the story? The Sun. The Sun was in a trine to Uranus in September 11th, 12th, 13th. And now the Sun is finally meeting up with Uranus. So you can expect that first week of May to be highly connected. Last week of April, first week of May, to a kind of culmination, an end and beginning, a completion of a story that Uranus was participating in around that September 11th, 12th, picked up by Venus on the 19th, 20th, and finishing up on May 11th, May 8th. Now, here's the last thing I want to say. I see a lot of people in astrology land making comments about individual transits, which is fine, like what's happening. The Sun is trining Uranus, without putting a big sky contextual relationship on it. Because when that Sun comes into Uranus, it's a rebirth of the Sun in its synodic cycle or relationship with Uranus, which happens every year. So because of that, if I do this, watch me, guys, you're gonna love this. And I go back a year ago, you can see that the Sun and Uranus were joining together. And to be really super accurate, they were joining together in the sky at 14 degrees of Taurus on May 4th, 2022. That means that whatever started in May in your Taurus house of 2021 is culminating in 2022, but we've got all these other elements. You know, we've got the Venus adding some support, you know, on September 19th this year. We got the fact this is happening in Venus's house. We got the fact that this big boom happened at the 18th degree of Taurus in the end of August. You got to take it as a kind of like a cast and a narrative that's like a story, a big story that's trying to happen in the sky. Like, and it involves multiple signs, right? It's not just one sign. So now we're going to come back to this year, and I'm going to do the all signs portion of the reading. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it in terms of intricacy, because hopefully you listen to the introduction. It would help if I don't go back by year, right, guys? And I go back by months, and then get back to our current time frame. So hang in there. Let's get going, and let's talk about what's going on this September with this particularly luscious, holy crap, excuse my language, big story picture. At the end of the day, everyone's going to have a massive change in their life that you'll be seeing as a visible result, a culminating, oh yeah, this is what's happening around the month of May next year, to do with what the big boom at the end of August, end of July, beginning of August is trying to accomplish. Things that unfold by April and May next year are the direction of your life in a new direction, an exhilarating change for the next 15 years. Yeah, I hope that wasn't too confusing for anyone. Let's go forward to the big boom. Not the big boom, to the trine. You can see it happening here. It's perfecting on the 10th. What year am I in? Yeah. So you can see the Sun at 18 degrees and Uranus at 18 degrees on September 10th, 2022. You can see it's still in play because it's connected by a degree on the 11th. It's still connected in a range of influence on the 12th, and it's still connected on the 13th. And if you go back to even the 7th, the 8th and the 9th and the 10th, you can also embody that energy there as a part of this kind of pivotal thing. And look at the 19th of September for Venus to bring luck, money, opportunity, benevolence, goodness, love to the greater story. So let's talk about all signs. I am going to go, excuse me if my throat seems weird. I had something that was for last 3.5 days. It was COVID-like. I took the rapid tests. I had a fever. I had a sore throat. I had a headache, and I slept for like 12 hours. And then I slept the next day for like 10 hours. But the rapid tests are showing negative. So what can you say? But they're not that good because I can't stick that thing all the way up to my brain. But anyway, so if I sound hoarse or weird, I'm coming off of something. I've been hitting the vitamin C, 10,000 milligrams a day. Symptoms started 3 days ago. And I'm actually today feeling really quite normal, but I know that I sound or look a little weird. Okay, so let's get going. I am recording today, September 10th, trying to catch up after lying in bed for a couple of days. Lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Okay. Oh my God. And by the way, I am me. If you don't like that I talk about my life, I talk about how hot I am, that I've got allergies, that I've got rashes. I talk about my life. If you don't like that, don't be on my channel, Mr. Troll, who keeps hitting me hard, and I'll cut you off if next time you make a comment you don't want to hear anything about my life. All right, let's get going. Let's move to Aries. Now, I always start with Aries, and there's a reason. Not favoritism, because I have an Aries sun and moon, but because when I'm doing the live premiere of my videos, people are looking for the order to be the zodiacal order, and they're confused if they come into the program and I'm not in order. All right, so Aries sun moon. Aries sun moon rising sign. Rising sign will always be most accurate. Oh, and FYI, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, check out my Sky Reader course, all that stuff. So Aries sun moon and rising sign people, what's going on here? Get on the wait list is basically it. Maybe I'll tell this to every sign because I forgot to do an intro blurb. Aries, this is a full moon. Sorry, this is a oh my God, my brain. Sorry, it's COVID brain. Just hang in there with me. This is Aries, the sun being trined by Uranus. It's a second house, sixth house story. And this is what's trying to make an action plan for you with Venus's support around September 19th. This is about your health and work routines, your daily routines in life, your debts. You owe debt to the credit card company or something. Second house is money and possessions. Some of you are coming into a chunky bit of money here where you could pay something off, especially since Mars is a ruler of your 8th house of chunky money that comes at you, and he was a part of the big boom at the end of the month. So some of you Aries sun moon rising people are going to be able to suddenly pay off a debt. Look for clues that debt payment and monetary exciting, surprising, good moments are happening. And when is that going to be? That's going to be like, the 10th, 11th, and 12th of September. It's going to be, again, more culminating potency around the 19th. And then it's going to finalize its full Monty of goodness on the 8th of or the first week of May. And the first week of May could be how all of this plays out in terms of what you want to do with this great financial boon. And for some of you, it's also promotions, raises, perks from your career path where somebody in power loves you up. And, maybe friends are jealous of you, Saturn in the 11th house, but more or less, this is looking really good, really, really good for some financial bonanza and some career opportunities opening up in a new way, and your health improving as well. Very short readings today, guys. This is just kind of a touch base. I'll be going into more depth on the 19th with the Venus video in that mini grand trine with the moon. So for Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign, this is an energy that's opening up a gateway here of some new beginnings, surprising, exhilarating luck and opportunity in your house of children. Connected to your house of children and connected to the house of your identity. Now, be careful, Taurus rising, but sun and moon, around getting pregnant accidentally. This is very possible. This can be sudden, exhilarating eruptions in romance, romantic love, suddenly meeting the true one, the one you're supposed to be with, or suddenly having a breakthrough with the one you're with. Those things are happening big time here. Because there is also Venus piling on an extra layer of completion on the 19th of September, you might find that whatever's happening right now in that sort of 11th, 12th, 13th of September with this sudden exhilarating shift around children, independent business, creativity, inspiration, and romance and sex is going to suddenly uplift into a new level of love, romance, and money stories. Yeah. Around when? Well, around the 19th, and then later, 19th of September, and then later down the pipeline, right? Really down that pipeline is something next May that sort of pins the tail on the grand finale of what this is really all about. If you are a Taurus rising, this can also be a moment of money luck, like speculation luck, like buying a lottery ticket, going to the horse races, gambling. Don't do that because I told you this is an entertainment channel, but that can happen for you as a result of these energies playing out now on the 11th, 12th, 13th of September, later on the 19th, and the next May. And next May could be how you're going to use that money and what you're going to do with it that brings you joy, enthusiasm, play, and pleasure. And you're getting a lot of like negative energy from your house of career bosses higher up. Your reputation has been under duress, and this is going to help you break free of a lot of that stuff. Gemini, sun, moon, rising sign, some big exhilarating energy, some exciting new developments, some change opportunities, even some luck coming through your fourth house of real estate, property, land you own, where you live, leases, mortgages, things like that. Like, is your property or your house or your family domestic private life connected to 12th house matters? Now, 12th house matters are behind the scenes machinations. It's also, you could be unglowing from family systems patterns that are no longer yours. I took a course with my dear friend, Haumea. I'm enrolled in her course, and I'll put a link to that below just for this video because OMG, because I'm a progressed Gemini ascendant, I just released a massive family pattern yesterday with her. So, and it's really been powerful for me. So some of you Gemini risings could release yourself from family of origin and childhood patterns, but it's also just about a money story connected to real estate at home, potentially, especially since that Uranus big boom in your 12th house opens up a gateway to mortgages and financing and investments. Now, Venus will follow through on the September 17th, 19th. And so there's a little bit more love coming from Venus, and it definitely can look like a raise, a promotion, or some gains around that time on the 19th, but long arc story next May. It looks like some of you are moving, buying a new home, getting a bigger home, upgrading your home. If you're a Gemini rising, big love up around your home coming to you. And you may change, like you may have to move to do this, like change to a foreign land, or foreign lands are compressing and repressing you right now. Things around the foreign land themes are challenging, but at the end of the day, next May, things kind of all gel, and you kind of fall into the lap of a lovely place to be, a lovely place to live, or changes to your home life that are very, very beautiful, inspiring, fun, and exciting for you in some fundamental way. Venus words, right? You'll definitely see on the 19th of September more of what I'm talking about, but know that it's starting on the 11th, 12th, and 13th. And, you're Mercury ruled, right? And when this is all going down in the sky, Mercury is in Libra, your house of joy, fun, play, and pleasure, in that mutual reception to Venus. So these changes for you, Gemini rising, especially, but sun and moon, are trying to bring you more fun, more joy, more recreational pleasures, more leisure trips, more travel, more like joie de vivre. So this is where things are going for all of us energetically who have a Gemini rising, or as in my case, secondarily progressed Gemini rising. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. This is really important. I want you to hear me right now. I think you're going to have the most bang for your buck with this Venus energy trining Uranus on September 19th. Just get ready for that. It's going to be huge for you. But before we even get there, September 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, there's that sun trine Uranus. And this is a story about things to do with trips, travel, siblings, online learning, skills-based learning, and your great big visions and plans for your life, and also maybe your eldest sibling, and maybe also the way you wish to experience life as full of good spirit, full of grace, full of flow and ease, okay? And friends and allies could step out of the woodwork suddenly to support you, including an eldest sibling. And so this is the story for a lot of Cancer risings, particularly the sun and moon, a little bit secondarily. I always say go for your rising sign. It's the most accurate. And with this energy, look, of course, to September 19th, because something big is busting out. Now, maybe September 19th, you get to book a trip with an elder sibling. September 19th, you get to learn something you've always wanted to learn that's going to fortify your greatest dreams, goals, and wishes for your life. I'm not sure, it's lots of ways to parse it, but there's a lot of love beaming at you, okay, from Venus in a sextile to the moon on the 19th. And so I think for you guys, with that moon in Cancer, the sign of your body, your identity, in a mini grand trine, there's like a love up from the sky. It's totally like giving you kisses from God. So if you're a Cancer rising, look to that September 19th connection to what's going on the 11th, 12th, and 13th. And finally, by next April, May, especially the first week of May, all this kind of lands you in a sweet spot regarding trips, travel, education, teaching and learning, skill space things, writing, if you're a Cancer who wants to write, everything's starting to flow in that direction. Guys, I'm having a sugar low. I don't know if I'm going to pause or keep going. It's the end of a long day. I'm going to keep going. Maybe, if I don't get delirious. Sugar low. Okay, I'll keep going. So I'm always getting a sugar low, and people say, why am I not prepared? Well, I am prepared, but I don't like to eat and record. And I record when I'm done with my clients and the end of my work day. And yeah, so you get the story, right? All right, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Big changes in your career area, right? It's been already destabilized since 2018. A lot of Leo risings are going through a revolutionary, iconoclastic, freedom-loving, inventive career zone. A lot of you quit your jobs. You don't, keep changing what you think you want. And now the sun is opening up a portal of you from your earnings house. No two ways about it. Leo, you're starting to make a lot more money, and you're excited by it, especially with the cooperation on the 19th of September with Venus. Look for breakthroughs in your earnings, and your money connected to your reputation and career. Also know that there's going to be this energy, and payment processors and Stripe are loving you up, and revenue from international shores. This all becomes quite obvious around the third week of September. Now, don't forget the big boom is involved, right? And that big boom energy that happened at the end of August, July, beginning of August is connected to this larger pivot of how you're shifting your way of making money as a Leo and receiving some great gains and exciting developments around your money. So look to September 11th, 12th, 13th, and then the 19th to connect to around May 8th. They're all one story in 3 parts where you're really creating this new earnings career strategy. And it did really begin in May of 2021 when Uranus and the sun came together at 14 degrees of your career house. So go back to that story as well. And don't let other people like naysay and kibosh you, especially your marriage partner maybe, or a business partner, or some of your audience may give you some harsher feedback. In general, that's Saturn the 7th, because you've got this. Venus is your ally. She's a mutual reception to Mercury in the house of the online world, education, trips and travel. A lot of Leos, you're just like moving it and commuting as well. But Mercury in Libra in your 3rd house is about what you want to learn as well. What do you need to learn is going to help you fortify your incredibly exciting career and money developments. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. I am talking fast. Deal with it. So you are experiencing this big energy of exhilarating change and opportunity coming up September 11th, 12th, 13th-ish, repeating in more gravitas with help from Venus around the 20th, 19th, 20th, and then culminating on May 8th next year in the areas of 9 and 1 houses. Wow, this is the house of your body, your identity, your health, because it's your body. Venus is supporting you on the 5th of September to the 29th to be more healthy or feel better about yourself, to feel more lovable, loving, beautiful, to have your glow on, glow up, and even get some cosmetics and new clothes done, treat yourself, spas, stuff like that. And as Venus is doing this thing, the sun on the 11th, 12th, 13th does love up this big boom place in the 9th house. Now, if you're going back to school or you're educating yourself in higher education, this is definitely pivoting like the end of July, beginning of August, whether you're aware of it or not. You're pivoting in your educational studies. Some of you may change your course of study. Some of you may drop out. Some of you start something new. This is also pertaining to travel to foreign lands, to the meaning of life, your purpose, your spiritual faith and beliefs. All of these are changing. And if you have court cases going on, this is about your court cases as well. So this is all happening for you around September 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, then following through on the 19th, 20th of September, and then following it through again, on May 8th. At the end of the day, by the time you get to May 8th, it's kind of culminating something that started in May of 2021 regarding the themes I've just outlined for you. If you went on a foreign trip in like early May of 2020, 21, like my Virgo rising daughter did for her birthday, this could just be culminating some story that began in and because of that trip. All right, so a lot to ponder, a lot of thoughts. Visas, legal affairs are also ninth house. Some of you may be dealing with that, and book publishing. A lot of Virgos like to be Virgoian, which is to write and communicate. So if you're in that industry, this can be some really intense breakthroughs around things you want to publish and or write. Okay, I do need to get food because I will faint on you. I'm gonna am I gonna pause the share? No, I'm just gonna go grab some food. It's easier this way before we get to Libra. Hang in there. I'm coming back. So what can I grab that's easy to eat while I talk to you guys? Oh, I know. Some of my yams. Oh. Okay. My roasted yams are with me. All right. I know there's a whole thing about eating on YouTube that went crazy a few years ago. Libra. Sun, moon, and rising sign. Excuse me. What's happening here? I need to swallow. So this is this energy of massive shift of the ocean liner in your 8th house. Can open up your psychic abilities, can open up your wealth. You can retire on this energy. Or you can meet a spouse or a partner, business and love, and you can retire on that energy. So Libra, you're trying to amass a pivotal change in how you amass wealth in your life, how you approach the occult mysteries and magic, how you approach secrets and intimacy. This shift started at the end of the month of July, beginning of August. It's going to take you 15 years to fully realize it. Now, Uranus on September 11th, 12th, 13th is activating with that sun in Virgo, this energy. Now, sun in Virgo, and this stuff is very behind the scenes, very low key, man, secretive, maybe undercover, or it's an enlightenment thing, but either one, because these are enlightenment energies, 12 moksha, 12-8. Either you're having spiritual breakthroughs, which is possible, or Libra, rising, sun and moon, you're having financial shifts of a major magnitude. And it can involve property, mortgages, land, and real estate. And there's sudden and surprising, exhilarating change energies, right? Because you can't predict Uranus. And then on the 19th, 20th of September, Venus kind of mops up and says, okay, let's complete the deal, seal the deal, finish the thing in a flowing, harmonious, lucky way. Certainly it's good for refinancing mortgages, investment properties, something, a stock investment taking off that you purchased. And then finally, next May, it all kind of comes home to roost, and it culminates in a grand finale around the first week of May, May 8th in particular. You've been having a lot of hard work, a lot of discipline, a lot of perseverance to get creative projects off the ground, to get your own business to succeed. We've been working hard to have fun, and some of this is going to help lighten you up. That's that Saturn the 5th, as Venus sort of sends sweet rays of yay you and luck to your 8th house of money, and that kind of makes it feel to me like you might just take some downtime to enjoy your life. Sometime in the month of September, particularly after September 19th, 20th, could involve finding ways to find pleasure and agreeing to yourself you shouldn't work so hard. Now, with Mercury here in mutual reception to Venus, Mercury is trying to help you be a better communicator, be a better negotiator, be a better deal maker, and Venus in the back room is helping you negotiate those deals. And so this is sort of like at the end of the story next May. Go back to May of 21 and look at May of 22. You're closing the book on a chapter in your life to do with how money comes to you and how creative projects in your independent business, if you have one, it got to change, something's got to give. And so you're certainly going in a brand new direction there. And, you know, I can see that in other sky stories as well. For a lot of Libras, maybe it's time to not be a workaholic, which Libras are really good at, as well as Aries, by the way. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. Well, trying to keep it pithy. And yes, I do talk fast. But here what we have is the moon. The moon, Uranus and the North Node being trined by the sun from your 11th to your 7th. And if you're a Scorpio rising, especially, but yeah, sun and moon, sort of. This is about your business partners, your audience, your marketplace, and your marriage or love partner, significant committed relationship. It may not even be about you. The thing with Uranus here is it could be their exciting new, game-changing, exhilarating opportunities coming up September 11th, 12th, 13th, and then again on the 19th and 20th, something they're working on, pulling through, bringing a little bit of great financial gain, success, fame, and exhilaration to their life, and you are benefiting from it, especially with the idea here that Mercury in Libra and this back end negotiations and secret deals, right, does own the 8th house of mutually shared resources with a partner, business and love. So I'm going to say a lot of what's going on for some Scorpio risings is not their story. It could be a story with a money story with a partner, love or money, love and money partnerships. So September 8th, 9th, 10th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th connects to September 19th, 20th, and then it finalizes that and completes that narrative in the end of the story, which is going to be May of 2022. When you go back to May of 21, that's when this story started. It's a 1-year story in multiple bits. But lastly, and leastly, you know, the big boom was in your 7th house. If you are a Scorpio rising that has marketplace, audience, clients, this expands and focuses you on other. And even if you have just a marriage partner, you're really focused on how you can meet them and reach them. And if you're single and a Scorpio, it's going to definitely bring in one hell of a new relationship, especially for some of you around the 3rd week of September, where Scorpio rising in particular may meet their true dream partner, and you can help let up a lot of the tension you're feeling, struggle and hardship in the house of your home. Some of that really does let go by next March, April, and May, where home feels like a burden, and home suddenly you're free of that home burden, whatever that might mean to you. Financial burden, elderly person living in your home, whatever. All right. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign, the energy of the sun in a trine to Uranus on September 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th is about some kind of exciting, exhilarating opportunity that is opening up in your sky, in your work and health, in your daily routines, or around debt that you can eliminate through things to do with work. How can you be of service in an exhilarating way as well that aligns with your values and helps you pay off your karmic debt? That could be another way of seeing this. Also, big changes in your career, but they're also supporting your better health as well. So a lot of Sagittarius will see those themes emerging, but you knew they were coming, right? If you go back to the end of August, end of July, beginning of August, you're going to see the seeds were planted for this big pivot into this new energy for Sagittarius in your 6th house of livelihood, work and daily routines. That's changing dramatically, and health routines and sickness and health are all changing for you, especially if you struggle with health challenges. We can see some breakthroughs here. Venus is a benefic. So on September 19th and 20th, love is coming to you. Lucky opportunities, raises, promotions, perks, favors in the career space, in the workspace, and in your reputation space. Sometimes Venus up here is weddings. So are you going to have a ceremony, a wedding or a marriage sometime in the 3rd week of September? Maybe, or plan the details of it. And then lastly, it all kind of completes and finishes out in May of next year. And that story that started in May of 2021, 2 is complete by May of 2023. All righty. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising sign. Energetically, this is a trine between your 9th house and your 5th house. Have you wanted to travel to foreign lands, move to foreign lands, get a court case to win out, go back to school, find the meaning of life, be enlightened, find a spiritual community? These question marks are there maybe because of the sun initiating a story that started in May of 2022 and finishes in May of 23. I think I got the dates wrong earlier because my brain is offline, you know what I mean? But it's this anyway. And this is like September 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th does connect in a positive way to whatever was happening, let's say July 20th to August the 6th, okay, where you're pivoting in the 5th house. This is about your life in the next 15 years being creative, inspiring, enthusiastic, romantic, having your own business, paying more attention to your children, having children. Focus on that 5th house is like the thing that is the most important new direction in your life over the next 15 years. It was seeded this year with the big bang, I call it, of Jupiter, of the North Node, Uranus and Mars at 18 degrees of your fifth house. And that's a very sensitive degree. And this is being reactivated. Of course, so you can see it's being reactivated because the sun will be trining that sensitive degree. So I want you to think about what was going on then, because now it's kind of fulminating in your ninth house. And that can be a trip to a foreign land, or visas and passports being negotiated from foreign lands, or legal contracts and affairs working out in your favor regarding romance, marriage, sexuality, children, creativity, and independent business enterprise. And Venus will follow up with some really powerful yay you moments, giving you love and luck and money and opportunities financially. You could even have a romantic trip on a foreign shore, or you could travel with the one you love to a foreign shore sometime around the 19th, 20th of the month of September. And if you do, it will be very auspicious for you. And then finally, it will culminate around May 8th next year, where all of that story that may have started in May of 22 completes in May of 23. But a deeper meaning is, why are you pivoting, oh, you hardworking, stern, stoic, rigorous Capricorns, to more fun, love, play, pleasure, and joy in your life? That's what I'd ask you. Because, this Mercury mutual reception, this happening in this month of September, it's really like Mercury saying, we got to go back on some ground in your career. It's not really working for you. You have to reinvestigate, renegotiate your work and reputation stuff, because it's not bringing you the play, fun, and pleasure. Mercury's an aversion to that part of your chart. He's retrograding, so you can go back in the career house to reestablish something you want in higher education, romantic love in foreign lands, travel to foreign lands, visas, passports, legal affairs, money affairs from book publishing. You have to go back over some old ground, and Mercury's willing to do that. He is indeed retrograding in your career house. You're going to go back. You could break contracts here. You could quit jobs. You could say to your employer, this isn't working. Those are just a few thoughts. And that's something that could happen this month of September. Okay, so Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. Me, I'm a rising Aquarian. So this is for us about our home. And I always say, can you guys go back to May to October, May 2018, and then March of 19 onward. Those were times that Uranus went into the sign of Taurus, which destabilized our home. And that was when my landlord sold the house I lived in. I moved to Montreal, then I moved back to Vancouver, and I moved to homes and homes and homes. I have 3 different homes since 2018. Why? It's the nomad transit, guys. We Aquarians are having a destabilization of our 4th house. Where we live, our home, land, real estate, family of origin, ancestral line trauma and drama is being excavated, exhilaratingly refreshed here. Now, this is a time where, as I speak, right, the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th of September, unexpected changes are happening, exhilarating or dramatic or disruptive changes are happening with regards to where we live, coming from Venus, and the sun in the 8th house. So first it's the sun, and then later on the 19th, 20th, it's Venus. Now, really clearly, sometimes Venus is a woman destabilizing where we live. Okay. And so there could be some kind of, secrets or reveals or information coming through a female that suddenly shows up in our life, and we realize we have to move. So my landlord, person I'm renting from, kind of thing, is a woman. So you never know. We could also find that money stories are positively impacting where we live, because Venus in the 8th house can be about bank loans, mortgages, inheritances, and sometimes even windfalls. And I only say windfalls for this sky because Mercury, the god of luck, the god of marketing and mercantile and money in some ways, and games and stuff, is sitting in the 5th house of lotteries. So lotteries, casinos, lucky money breaks, and speculative lucky money break. So it could be a stock investment that takes off. It could be something to do with a game you play and you win. So some of you Aquarians around September 11th, 12th, 13th, and again later on around the 19th, 20th are having money luck stories show up that give you a blessing about where you live. Now, it could be even a blessing about where you live coming from your spouse or primary partner, because the sun is a ruler of your 7th house, a business and love partnership. So it may not be your luck and maybe their luck, but it allows you to have flow and luck around where you are going to live with that person or all of that. And you've been going through a very hard time. We all have, as Aquarius rising, Saturn in our 1st house has made us grow right up. Grow the fuck up. We're more disciplined, sober, realistic, perseverant, determined, and sage-like than we've been in a long time, since, like, in earnest, December of 2020. and it's not an easy transit. And so we're getting ready to let go of being so serious next March, but it's still there. And I want to say that this sky in September is breaking us free of some of our seriousness, and our super uber skeptical realistic self is kind of busting out on like the 11th, 12th, 13th of September, and more so with Venus's support 19th and 20th. Some of us are planning trips, or we'll make a trip, or we'll be able to pin the tail on a trip donkey. Legal affairs and court cases are serving up goodness for us around the 19th and 20th of September, and spiritual wisdom as well. Now, and this all closes down and finishes up in May of 2023, something that was beginning in May of 2022. And we're pivoting, guys. And by the time we get to, like, I think by the time we get to next spring, we know where we're going to finally land in our sort of, where do we want to belong question mark for the rest of the next 15 years. Last, and yes, you know, the whole drill, never least Pisces, sun, moon, and rising people. Well, so for you guys, this energy is important because, you know, it involves a couple of things that are significant for you. Venus is your exaltation lord, and she does play a role September 19th and 20th. So when your exaltation lord is working on your behalf, you're definitely, as a Pisces rising in particular, and sun and moon secondarily, receiving some glorious benefits that are above the norm. So let's go back to basics. This energy is a story about a pivot in your third house. It's going to take place over 15 years. It started at the end of July and the beginning of August, to do with your siblings, to do with learning and teaching, to do with writing and communicating, to do with online stuff, and to do with your local neighborhood environment. A lot, and trips and travel. A lot of this energy is very critical for you guys over the next 15 years. Now, that shifting energy is like a ocean liner on the water, right? You don't really feel the wholeness of it. It takes time to unfold. But now you're getting a reactivation of this from Uranus, September 10th to the 15th or 14th. And then later Venus picks up the slack. Now, the beginning with the sun in your 7th house, this could be information about somebody you're with, your spouse or your business partner in particular, or your significant partner, is triggering some exciting new developments and change regarding, hey, honey, let's take a trip. Let's take this course together. Let's move our neighborhood. And then Venus follows up and she exalts you. Remember, she's your exaltation lord. She gives you extra steroids goodness on 19th and 20th September. So from breaking news here. Now, it could be inheritances that belong to your spouse, like your partner or in business, their money, or your love partner's money, because Mercury's in the house of shared resources with our partners, love and money. So I think this is a lot of the energy for most Pisces isn't about you. It's about the one you're with, okay? Some of it can be alimony, palimony, and shared resources, and separating out financially from the one you're with, and you're benefiting. It's benefiting you as a Pisces rising in particular, sun and moon secondarily. You may also experience some kind of need to negotiate something to do with money with a business partner or with the one you're with, and go back over some old terms of agreements together. But nonetheless, because Venus is a benefic and she's involved, it's good for you. And it's good for your finances and your shared finances with others. And you could also maybe eliminate some kind of financial obligation that you have, like a credit card debt, with this setup. But you have to sign contracts and papers to do that. Okay. So that's everything for you, sun, moon, and rising Pisces. So thank you guys. Like, subscribe if you're on the live premiere with me. I always forget to tell people to like and subscribe when I'm watching the video, but if you do like and subscribe, I really appreciate you. Thank you for that. And this is recorded for my Patreon community on September 10th, and I will make it public on September the 11th. Thank you guys. Usually get stuff more than a day in advance, but because I've been sick with COVID-ish, whatever this is, like I did have a fever for 2 days. I even feel warm today. It's taken me a while to bounce back here. I haven't slept 15 hours. No, 12 hours without moving 3 nights ago. Holy man, was that crazy. All right. But my sore throat is gone finally. All right. I don't look like I feel. I'm not feeling great. Thanks, guys.